So we're in Fresno, California, and we're buttoning up a little project out here. Master bath. They just wanted to just check for leaks down here. The existing drain was clogged as well. So we took this assembly, not this assembly, we didn't take it apart, but from the top we ran a snake down through there, cleaned the drain out entirely, which means we took apart that nut and pulled the rod out, and then took the drain pop-up out and cleaned out the debris in there. Additionally, we went to put it back together. The this assembly, this tailpiece assembly, was leaking around the rubber gasket right up here. So it was dripping down there. So we tightened that up. No more dripping around, a lot of water down here, no dripping. Also, the old P-trap that was in here, we went to tighten it back up, and that nut right there was leaking. So we just replaced it. We cut back the ABS pipe, Schedule 40 pipe, put in a new tubular P-trap, a new tubular extension, tied it back in, so it's all new up to that tailpiece. So we'll warrant that part, and everything looks good right now, so it does drain correctly. It doesn't back up like it was before, and no dripping underneath. And that is it for this bathroom. Additionally, in the hall bath, had a few items going on here, and this one wasn't so bad. Price Fister, this was backing up, so Price Fister makes a nice little pop-up assembly that just unscrews. And so we cleaned that out, got that assembly clean. Actually, most of it was just attached to here, just a bunch of hair and whatnot. So this came out, put it back together, and so this is draining real good. And then everything else underneath looks good. I mean, it's old plumbing, but outside of that, I don't see any water on the bottom of the cabinet. No dripping from the supply line, so that's in good shape. And then this was the big project here. This toilet was rocking and leaking, so we pulled it out of there. And the existing flange was in good shape, except for it's glue. The way they're installed, they get glued on, and they need to be glued down flush with the floor, right there. And what happened is when they glued it down, they left about a quarter to a half an inch. And they left it high, which means when you put a wax ring down there and you go to squish that bowl down on top of it and anchor it to that closet flange, it squishes all the wax back out before it ever reaches the floor because the flange is so high. So the only thing that you can do is take a bunch of shims, they're hard plastic shims, and you put them underneath the toilet all the way around. So we got 2 in the back, 2 in the front, 2 in the sides next to the bolts. And so that way, when you start to squish it down, it doesn't smash all the wax out against that closet flange. So you can see this huge dap line, and that's as a result of keeping this toilet up in the air. So it's mounted securely. It's tight. So it's not going anywhere, but you just got a huge caulking joint there to cover that gap underneath. So we did run a bunch of water down there. We got it fastened back in. The original toilet did not have the bolt cap kit. It's got the hard plastic washer and the bolt cap on there, so we didn't install those. We just reinstalled what was there. We did put a new wax ring in, a new brass bolts. Got it tested and flushed. We got it filling the tank filling correctly. It was overfilling a little bit, and that's it on the toilet. Additionally, over here, some Moen. I think it's a 1222 valve. This is the old style valve. Pull it on. Hot is on the left, cold is on the right, and that was dripping pretty substantially. So we replaced the cartridge in there. We did have to go out to the street and shut down the curb stop out there. There's no meters out here, but we did locate the old box, pop the lid off, shut the water down to the home. The reason being is the gate valve existing at the home on the iron pipeline is fused open, which is better than fused closed or broken altogether. You've got about half turn one way or the other on that gate valve, but it doesn't budge anything. So that's a future repair. Honestly, if you need to shut the water down, it's probably easier to go out to the street. Just be mindful that if you do damage that, the city of Fresno charges a pretty healthy chunk of change to come out and fix it. So anyways, that's done in here. Just put a piece of paper down here just to see if any moisture showed up, and it doesn't. So we're good. That cartridge is doing good. And so we're going to leave this bathroom. We recommend against this tub, there's a lot of water underneath there. You need to let that air out, let that dry out, and then take some coving, some lino coving. It's that like a roll of rubberized molding that goes against there, or anything to cover that up. Caulking is just going to be too much caulking down there. That's going to look really nasty. It did before, and you can see the lino's not cut real tight to the tub. So anyways, let that sit, get some coating in there. And so that is it for this bathroom. And in the kitchen, checked everything out in here. The faucet looks good. Again, with old plumbing, but everything is in working order. There's no leaking, no dripping, anything like that. However, the air gap that was spitting water out, not only backwards, they had it installed the wrong way, but it was clogged. So anyways, what we did is we just took put a brand new air gap in up here, and then underneath we went ahead and took a brand new 7/8 hose. You can see the rubber hose back there. That's a 7/8 ID inside diameter hose, and ran it up the air gap. Took the discharge hose from the dishwasher, tied it back into the air gap. 7/8 hose over to the garbage disposal, and so that is replaced and brand new. Everything else down here looks good. You'll have to run your dishwasher to make sure that everything drains correctly. And outside of that, we are done.